here. Second point is here, which we call Atma Chakra. Then there's a third point here, fourth, 5, 6, and 13 is on the back side here. So she was very happy that I made it to the center. It's a goal. After a month or so, Babaji tells her, you have a weak point. You don't practice enough. Now you compare that statement as if it is made to you. You are nowhere, not even on the first perhaps. How much more practice is needed? After some time he asks another question after a few months. Do you really enjoy this meditation? If you do, why not more of it? If it is so good, if you're really enjoying it so much that you had it once in the morning, won't you like to have it again at 9 o'clock, again at 12 o'clock, again at 2 o'clock? Of course, we are not saying that you must stop doing other things. You are studying. Study is the primary duty. On another occasion, he says, you must bring about automatism in your practice. Automatism means, I understand that Babaji is trying to convey two things with one statement. Automatism also, he meant to say perhaps that you should be in a state of meditation on call at any given moment. The kind of depth that you achieve during meditation, you should be able to invoke that state with your open eyes. That is one aspect of automatism. Second one, you must fix your timing. And this he re-emphasizes in another message, that you must establish a biological clock in your practice. What does this mean, automatism, biological clock? You must have learnt in school the experiment carried out by a scientist called Dr. Pavlov, Russian scientist. He performed an experiment on specific conditioning of a dog. In this experiment, he used to serve this dog after ringing a bell. He would ring a bell, serve food. Next day, ring a bell at the same time, serve food. Third day, ring the bell at the same time, serve food. He conditioned this dog for some time. One day, he rang the bell and no food. Dog went crazy, he went mad, he was salivating profusely. That is biological clock, see? The day you don't meditate at that specific hour that it is conditioned to you, if you are not able to, do you salivate like that dog? Oh no, do you miss it? That's the key. So we have a long, long way to go. Start by few resolutions that while you are here, resolve, fix your timing for meditation. It is not enough. Of course, as a parent, I would say, okay, instead of meditating once in a month, I'll be happy if my son or daughter is meditating once a week. And then if they're meditating very regularly, every day, I'm very happy. But our masters are not. Masters will be very happy when you fix your timing. Let's say if you fix your timing at 6 o'clock, you stick with your guns and say, I'm going to meditate no matter what, at 6 o'clock every day. You must fix this timing. If you fix your timing at 7 o'clock, fine, so be it. It is very important. It's more important than if you meditate one day at 8 o'clock, one day at 9 o'clock, one day at 6 o'clock, one day at 3 o'clock in the morning, for 2 hours, 1 hour. But it is better to meditate for half hour regularly on specific hour. Fix it for yourself and see the change. Try to notice the change that occurs in your heart, in yourself, within 10-day period. And that's what we are looking for. Some sort of discipline in our practice. You see, if you notice these messages coming from the Bright World, from Babuji Maharaj, from Lalaji, from Vivekananda, and so many other great personalities who are giving messages to this medium, they are at fixed hours, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Very rarely she would receive messages, because that's because of emergency or some sort of things, you see. If you see Master's lifestyle also, you will notice that. He has his breakfast 7:30 in the morning, lunch at 12:30, dinner at 7:30. As an Abhyasi, if you see his diary, you will see this clock tuning in all the time, see. When our meditations are predictable, that you meditate at such and such hour, thankfully you are students, but as a businessman or as an employee, you don't want your boss to call you randomly. Once you tell him that I meditate at 6 o'clock, he dare not call you at 6 o'clock. He will not disturb you. But if you keep meditating randomly, no one knows when you meditate, no one knows when not to disturb you. So it helps. Fixing timing is very, very important. Even the great masters will appreciate it. You will make their life also easier, so that they know when to come to you and give you some gifts. So fix it. So I have I discussed about automatism, biological clock, bringing joy in your practice. Another beautiful thing I learned from these messages is this, and I appreciate it so much. Babuji tells her that some people, they have hard heart, harsh face, they repel grace. Then he goes on to say, love attracts, joyful heart attracts grace easily, naturally. Harsh faces repels. As a businessman, when we have, 50 employees, 100 employees, you know the difference between each person. It's a spectrum of their facial expression, their attitudes in work. When someone is always working joyfully, coming at right time, you tend to like such people to work with, to have you in your organization. If a person is always bitching around, oh, I don't like this, I will not do this, and I'll come whenever I want to, how long this boss can tolerate? Not very long. And even if you go away, nobody's going to miss you. But if you are a really, really, really good worker, really good employee, you master your work so well, when you leave or remain absent for a day, your absence speaks louder than your presence, then your boss is helpless. So, I must, at any cost, bring about some sort of regularity, some sort of cheerfulness, some sort of restlessness in my practice to achieve the highest. You worked so hard only to pass 12th. You must be laughing your guts out. What have I done? It's 12th. I have still a long way to go. See how hard I worked. Then you'll graduate. You think you have achieved the big thing? No, something bigger is waiting. I need a good job. Life doesn't end there. you'll start a business. It's still not ending. You want to make money. Then you have children. It's never ending. And you work so hard for it. 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours to lead this material life. I don't say that you don't do it. No, you must do it. If you have the capacity to make 1 million, make that 1 million. If you have the capacity to make 5 million, go ahead and make it. But don't forget this. You must do this. Spiritual endeavor, staying in tune with that paddling all the time, that spiritual condition that you achieve in the morning, it is not going to disturb your daily business activity or your student activity. In fact, when you are in such a state of different consciousness, higher level of consciousness, then the time that we spend in working also reduces. It requires less and less work. Time, I mean. Okay. When I'm studying, for example, there is a difference between a person who just reads all the time. But a person who reads it with calm, peaceful, composed mind, he is able to absorb with one go, one reading. Others, they have to read it again and again, again and again. See? So, through yoga, through such meditation, our actions become, I would not say perfect, but nearly perfect. We are striving to become perfect though. See? Master is also striving his best to achieve that perfection. Not only in himself, but in his work as well, that how much I should change my work style so that my work become more effective. Everyone is trying their best to make it perfect, better and better all the time. So, this is about Sahaj Marg. I hope when you go back, you look at Sahaj Marg with different eye, different perspective, become more serious about it. I'm really hurt when you say you have not read Complete Works Ramchandra Volume 1. I beg you, please, it's must. Before you go home, finish it. Now, if you have any questions related to practice, we restrict ourselves to practice only. Practice-related questions, please.
My name is Swati. While during the meditation, when we say the divine light is coming into our heart, how do we feel it, or how do we? I know we're not supposed to have any image and all that. So I just want to know how to believe that it is coming in.
First of all, we do not think that divine light is coming. Okay. We suggest to ourselves that it is already there in my heart. That's all. It's an assumption. You know, in mathematics, some of you may have tackled such problems. Suppose this and this is not this, or this plus this is this, and at the end you prove it or disprove it. So when I assume that there is divine light in my heart, I will start with this little suggestion. And then at the end of it, I prove, yes, there is something. So we go on like this, every day little something, and then you'll see a larger picture one day. Little by little. Okay? When children, I mean especially boys, you know, they want to build muscles. I don't know for what, but they want to pump up. They go to gym. One day, 2 days, then they get flat. They get tired. Then you say, hey, how are your muscles doing? They're not going to gym anymore. But then there are people who are hardcore. They really go through this vigorous training, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years. And you see the results. It's obvious. It's physically obvious. You can see the muscles. As they say, they're what? Okay. Meditation also, it's like that, see. The changes that one goes through because of meditations, they are invisible changes, but you yourself feel it. When you write your diary, you'll be able to see what has been happening. I myself was so surprised by one entry I made in December 2010. At that time, that experience seemed very trivial to me. I just made an entry that I saw this person during my meditation. And we became one, kind of a thing, see. Yesterday, by accident, I opened it up. My God. Then it hit me like a rocket. This person, I will not say the name, but I started crying afterward. It made such an impact after 2 years. But when I wrote it, it had nothing. I give you another example from my diary. Once I saw a dream. In the dream, I had narrated the description of one place. It has a water stream, giant trees, about 150 feet tall like that, and big canopy, large lawn, and a small house. And in that diary of 1979, I had written, I am seated beside Chari. That is our master. Those days he used to be known as Chari. So I had written, I am sitting beside Brother Chari, and there were 4 or 5 other abhyasis and at that time, I was wondering, this is a foreign land, and I am in India. I was in Ahmedabad at that time. See? So, never mind, I wrote it down. In 1986 or 87, we were in Atlanta, and Master says, let's go to Albany. So, 5, 6 of us go to Albany. It's in New York State. And the place we visit, surprisingly, it's the same description that I had written down in my diary. At that time, Chari then was not master. I had not dreamed of such a place, but it's exact description. So I recommend you, even if you are mundane, if you see a squirrel, put it down in your diary. I saw the squirrel. Maybe you will interact with her later on, see. Write down whatever you feel in your meditation, see. Or the dreams that you see, the thoughts that you have, the feelings that you go through towards people, towards yourself, towards family members, towards Master, towards God, so many things. The books that you read, movies that you see. Anyone, please?